Okay people, here's the progress report on Snobad so far. We've got the frame back from powder coating, as you can see. Looks really nice. We've assembled things as far as we can. We're waiting for special hardware, some button head stainless and fine thread that seems to be like a unicorn, but we will eventually round some up. So this is what we've got together so far. We've got the rear end housing in, the new springs. We've had to change the U-bolts to these 9/16 fine thread units that you see here. These threads are going to be chopped off at the top, and then the U-bolts are going to be powder coated. So they're just bare steel for right now. The frame, as you can see, is a nice dark navy blue, and the springs are semi-gloss black. The trim, the sway bars and so on are going to be powder coated in silver for a little bit of contrast. We're using stainless hardware throughout the entire build. The sides of the frame were pretty rough, so we spent a little bit of time getting those straightened out. We didn't spend a lot of time on the underside because you can't really see it. We didn't spend a lot of time on the inside of the frame rails because when the car's on top of the body here, or the body's on top of the frame here, you won't be able to see much of this at all. But there was over 75 holes from the factory on each side of the frame rails that did not do a thing. So they've all been welded shut, ground flat, and we've rounded all the little points and hiccups and things on the frame where you would cut your finger, bang your head, a rag would drag on it and lint would come off, that sort of thing, just so it's nice and smooth. This is not an ISCA show card, not intended to be. It's going to be a driver, but we do want it to be nice, especially first time out. So we've got the original hardware holding on the steering arm and the idle arm, steering box, etc. We've had those chrome plated, one of the very few items that are going to be polished chrome. The hardware that holds the rest of the suspension together, we've had it satin chrome plated just for color consistency. The steering box, of course, we couldn't get it powder coated without taking it completely apart. So we've painted it with a matching paint that was made up by Bumper to Bumper, our local auto shop supply house. This is the underside where the horrible factory gusset was. That was disgusting. So that's all been ground off, welded up, smoothed out, and so on. Frame rails have been straightened out in the front where it had a little bit of an accident. The underside of the front cross member was quite badly beat up, so we cut that out, welded it back in after hammering it straight. We used JB Weld to fill and smooth all the bumps and hiccups in the frame, but unfortunately I made the mistake of using JB Weld, the quick set version, and in areas where I used it there, it bubbled a little bit from the powder coat. So we have to cut those little bits out, fill those, sand them, and give it a paint, and you'll never see it. Anyway, we've got one control arm, upper control arm on with the new ball joints. Again, the satin chrome on the castle nuts at the end. We can only do one control arm for right now because we're waiting for hardware to attach the lower control arms. The 7/16 fine thread button head Allen bolts seem to be the unicorn that we're searching for right now. We've got a couple of leads, but we're working on it. So this is the, as you can see, the underside of the frame, and in just a moment I'm going to roll it over, but you can see the box structures on the back of the rear end housing. I fabricated those to attach the rear sway bar. The hardware that came with the sway bar in the kit was like comical. It was very Mickey Mouse, so we couldn't use that. So anyway, just gonna shut off now, and I'm gonna flip the frame over. We'll go again.